virtual sucks. While it's good that let's just go back to March. March last year, business changed. Our country went into lockdown, coronavirus took over. And if you look back at it now, we as a company did an amazing job. And this new term pivoting kind of came to light. And this virtual space became the new norm. If I had a crystal ball, I would have invested in Zoom, because I think Zoom stock has taken off. And we transitioned meetings on Zooms. We had guest speakers on Zoom. So we all still stayed connected through Zoom. And what's funny is Zoom, much like Google, no longer was just a noun, but actually became a verb. So there were phrases like, "Are we Zooming today?" "Hey, I'll Zoom you," or "Hey, let's Zoom." And so it's just this crazy world that now we've gone online. So I do believe that Zoom is better than email. It's better than text. It's better than even phone, because you can actually see somebody. But at the end of the day, it can never replace the human interaction, those in-person meetings that you can have, that face-to-face, that belly-to-belly, like I've talked to. So here's some reasons why that's so important. And I'm going to stop back on one of my runs at the beginning of the week. I was listening to Entre Leadership podcast, and the host said something that really stuck with me. He said, when you are face-to-face with somebody, there are terabytes of information that are shared. When you are in an in-person meeting, the amount of communication, that face-to-face communication is so much better than trying to do it virtually, trying to do it over the phone, trying to do it by text, all this other stuff. So here's the list. Number one, why is in-person face-to-face communication better? Number one, 80 to 80% of the communication is through your body language. So unless you get really fired up on Zoom and you get like nutsy crazy, you can't read that stuff on a screen. Some of those facial expressions, of voice tones, of movements, that sense of excitement, there's just something about being in the room with somebody that will get you fired up, will get you just feeling in relation, in connection with that person. Number two, it builds relationships. If you are around somebody, you are naturally going to maybe sit down, have a little bit longer conversation with them. You are going to it is the most productive way to get in relation with somebody, is that face-to-face and belly-to-belly, that in-person meeting. Number three, positive business outcomes. Now, everybody knows that when you are in person, when you are in-person sales meeting, you are actually serving your clients better. Because in this competitive market, you can look at somebody and go, "Hey, I've got this going. Do you have that? Do you have something?" And all of a sudden, these in-house deals start connecting that would not necessarily happen over Zoom. So those in-house deals are sacred. You got to hang on to those, but you got to show up in order to take care of your clients and work those in-house deals. I will tell you that every time we have a sales meeting, our discussions are free-flowing discussions that we're moderating, that, hey, somebody brings up a point, somebody brings up a challenge that they're having. You have that good discussion, that professional interaction that occurs that would not occur if you were on Zoom. And then there's the networking. We all talk about networking, how to network, how to engage people, how to find people that know people that know people. I was listening to Gary Vee this morning. He said, and he was talking about internships. And Gary Vee said, "Hey, don't go to don't pick an internship for that guy that you think that just for the internship. No, pick the internship to get to that next person. So think 3, 4, 5 people down the road. That's where you need to go. But that doesn't happen on a Zoom. It only happens when you're in person and networking." Next one, improved attention. I will tell you that if you're sitting in a room with a whole bunch of people, you are going to pay more attention to the group, to what's going on. Now, we can all say, "Hey, we get on Zoom and there's not a one of you," and I'm guilty of it too, that jumps on Zoom and says, "I'm just going to Zoom in." And what happens is you have to tune out, because we call it multitasking, we call it efficiency, we call it, we can do two things at one time. But you know what? I know what you're doing. You're checking your email, you're surfing the web, you're looking at Facebook, you're doing something else other than really paying attention to that conversation. And the classic that I know that I don't like, and I know Todd calls you guys out every single time, is muting the video. Okay, I'm on, but I'm muting the video. Yeah, what are you doing behind the video? And I know it's not really paying attention to the meeting. So it improves your attention when you are in person meeting. So, all right. I will tell you, and I've told my team here in Grand Junction, that starting on July 20th, there are no more sales meetings on Zoom. Period. End of story. We know that the best way to connect with people is in-house. And so starting on July 20th, and so I'm going to even throw that out there as a challenge to some of you guys out there to start getting into those in-person sales meetings, because I get so fired up when we have a whole group of people, a whole room full of people out there that we can engage with, that we can build relationships, that we can build a family with, that doesn't happen on Zoom. So with all that said, Vail Crew, I look forward to seeing you. It'll be an awesome afternoon. I appreciate you. I know we're celebrating Chad, but I'm looking forward to meeting you guys, and then yell loudly from wherever you're at tomorrow morning, because I'll be somewhere on a Spartan race crushing myself. Have a great weekend. Be distinctive and get fired up about in-person meetings. Thanks, guys.